let's get gardening. So I increased the size of my garden again, but I did it more of a test. I'll elaborate here in a second. What is going on, everybody? Jesse here. I did it again, like I said. I increased the size of my garden. I really just kind of wanted another space to do some things differently. Experimentation. I'm kind of getting more into like victory style gardening with nice long raised rows that have nothing to do with wood structured raised beds. And I think I'm really starting to fall in love with like this style of gardening. Now, I figured this would be kind of a cool test because I wanted to see what a long narrow patch would do. This patch behind me is 8 feet wide by 24 feet long, and it has 6 rows that I've basically hilled up. And I think this is kind of like a nice, what I would call a starter garden for most people. It has enough space to produce quite a bit in a small area. Now I think most people have a backyard or a front yard or a side yard that's at least this big that they can turn into a small garden for themselves. And I just wanted to see what I could do in such a small space. I've already planted out quite a bit of it, and I'll point it out here in a second. There's quite a bit of variety behind me. I have a full row of fall squashes, be it contender pumpkins. I've got butternut squash, acorn squash, loofah, bottle gourds, things like that. Different kinds of things that most people may not want to garden with, but in this little patch, it actually makes a lot of sense for me. There's lots of vining things on the outside edge, and you don't need to just let those splay wherever they want. You can guide those wherever you want. And for my thing, I'm gonna actually guide them along the edge and just keep it as a nice border, so I don't need to wander around the yard to get those taken care of. I also have huckleberries in here, garden huckleberries, not any other variety. I have ground cherries. These two are actually new ones for me, but I'm actually fairly excited about them. I want a little bit more soft fruit in the garden, and this is an excellent and easy way of doing that. I also did a row of beans. Now, I have a lot of beans out in the garden, but you know what? I really want to can a lot of beans this year. I want to do dilly beans and things like that, so I can never have enough beans. Now, these are a bush bean variety, so they're not going to produce a huge amount per plant, but I have, I think, 65 plants, or at least seeds planted in one row behind me. So that should be quite a bit of beans, even if each plant only gives me a handful. I also have another leafy green that does well during summertime, and I've already spoken all of my praise about Swiss chard. It's forever my favorite, but another one that does really well, especially in the heat, is amaranth. I planted red leaf amaranth. I got half an entire row of amaranth behind me, and it will love the heat. It is the middle of June, so it is a little late for that one, but it's a plant that just keeps on giving. It will give you the greens, and it also produces an abundance of seeds, which you can actually use as a grain, which is quite handy. I also have a row, it's sort of a catch-all. I have a few summer squashes in there, some black beauties and some gold zucchini. I have a couple cucumbers. These ones are vining because I actually prefer vining over the bush variety. You get more, and like I said, with just with pumpkins, you can direct those vines wherever you want. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. One side is going to be bordered by the pumpkins, and the other side is going to be bordered by my cucumbers, and that actually helps quite a bit. I believe I also have a few more loofah on that side as well. Now, loofah, when they're small, they make edible. The loofah themselves are actually edible. We're actually going to dry them out and use them as sponges, as I believe most people probably do. It makes a grand fruit, though. It's about, like that big. But once it dries up and hollows out, it peels off beautifully, and you can either like bleach it to get it like that nice bright color, or you can just keep it as is and just use it. It'll be a nice dark yellow, but it works out pretty good. I also have half a row of celery and celeriac. I don't know if I'm saying that last one correctly. I honestly don't know. Never grown it before. It's supposed to be like the root cousin of celery. It might even be closer related than that. But I just wanted something that was a little bit different, and I saw seeds and went, why not? So that's exactly what I did. On top of that, I have another half row that I haven't done anything with yet. If you guys have any thoughts, let me know, and I'll see about what I can do about getting something different planted in the garden. Just let me know what you think I should plant there, and I'd be happy to try something different. Let's go sit somewhere comfortable. Now, like I said, I need to till up another patch of earth and make my garden bigger than it already is. No, not really. But once you get into the gardening and you catch the bug, it's hard not to want to do more things, try different things, and I always do. I like to try different things. Now, normally in a regular year, I try and plant 30 or 40 different varieties of things that I've never heard of. With everything as it is, in the world today, I decided just to get a little bit more food security. So I'm planting a lot of things that I would just rather have to eat. And that means, butternut squashes, the Jardale pumpkins, the zucchinis. Now I do have a few things in there that, like I said, that I've never tried before. The huckleberries and the ground cherries, those are new, but I'm not devoting a lot of space to those. So I'm not really worried about, missing out on calories or anything else. I've got cucumbers out there. Like I said, I've got a decent variety of different things. And, I just wanted to try and do something in a small space to see how it would work, because I think everyone should get into gardening. Doesn't matter how much space you have, even if it's just a small, tiny raised bed or whatever you can do. I think everyone should get into gardening. And that small patch that I'm doing over there, it's not big. And I think everyone has the ability to get out there and get their hands dirty and grow a little bit of food. I just think it's a smart thing to do. I'll keep going on this kind of video, talking about how the small patch goes, and I'm just curious to see how it goes, because like I said, I'm getting more interested in the victory style gardening that my grandparents used to do, and I just like to see how it ends up. So without any further ado,